Bung.
Mong.
Hello, welcome to an episode of which Republic of Players podcast.
That one.
This one. We are on episode. I think we came to the conclusion we're on episode 95.
Six.
Or 96. 96. Again, yeah. It was 96 episode last week. It's 96 episode this week. We're doing double episodes. We're going to double up. So that means we're really on 190 something.
Yeah.
But this week we are talking about E3, and the lads are going to fill me in and let me know what happened, because I watched the first day and didn't watch the rest of it. So Pat, with his internet, is going to bring us through it and say how much he loved Bandai Namco, and Aiden's going to tell me how much he loved, let me guess, what is Aiden like? Nothing. No, maybe. My name's Slim Shitty. Everything? All of it? It's just because Xbox fanboy. That's what he is. He's an Xbox fanboy. He is. That's it. We've declared it. How is everyone? John, how are you?
I'm good, man. Keeping well, normal as ever. Still counting down the days, until we can start get back to normality, I suppose.
Must be nearly there, John. Must be there.
Well, must be nearly there.
Do you know what I'm kind of afraid of, though? There was like a thing today. They're on the news saying everything's great. It's all great. All the numbers are great. It's like we got hacked not so long ago. You can't even. You don't even know the numbers anymore, lads. You don't know the numbers. Don't lie to me, Joe.
Well, speaking of that as well, what I think I remember was always a big, massive thing at the start of the pandemic, and people seem to always forget about it. Like we've only, I hope everything's fine, but we've only like laxed restrictions now, and everybody's going, look, it's going great. And people keep forgetting that it takes 2 weeks to actually get the real numbers. People always seem to forget that. But anyway,
yeah. Because it's like 200 or something a day now or something. That's dropped a bit, but I'm afraid anyway, because the North is going up in numbers as well, and that Delta variant, the Indian variant, that's the Indian variant is in the North, but it's not here. Come on now. Come on now.
It stops at the border.
Come on now. I can cross the border right now. Don't you tell me where it is.
The Indian variant's afraid of sectarianism. It can cross the border.
Yeah, it doesn't cross the border, yeah.
Exactly.
The Irish language is in the North now. the Delta variant's going to stay there. But hopefully it does. Yeah, honestly. But that's so funny the way they changed all the names now, because either everyone's giving out. How come you can't say it's the China virus, but you can say it's the Indian virus?
Hate crimes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Down with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Careful now.
Well, they have,
Be very
have
careful,
been so many, though. There's like the Brazilian one as well.
Oh.
Like there's so many of them, it's actually ridiculous.
We know right well that if an Irish one came up, it'd be the Paddy variant. Like I'd be done for. And that's a hate crime, and I won't accept it.
No, you give the Irish variant a brown envelope, and then it would leave you and your family alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Good old-fashioned way.
The Irish way.
The Irish way.
Nepotism with brown envelopes.
Yeah, or you can charge a load of tax and then it won't pay us. And we let it away with it because we're Irish, and now we just, it's okay. It's fine. Anyway. Pat, how are you?
Not too bad, sure. Still kicking, still working away, doing things here and there. Sure, same as everyone, I say. Just hoping that we're soon open and we can see people again and, go talk to friends in person rather than through a camera on a computer screen.
I'll be honest, I'm quite all right the way things are. It's just like, I was made for this. Just stay away. It's fine. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. Let's do it over the internet. I can keep you at a fair distance. Aidan, how was yourself?
Good. Enjoying life in this tax haven.
In a tax haven?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ireland. We're a tax haven.
Yeah, not for our people.
No,
hey,
for
you're getting this wrong now. Come on.
Major multinational company.
Not for your people.
No. I have a job because we're a tax haven.
There you go.
Oh. Let's not get into that. No,
I couldn't afford video games. Tax haven. To bring it back to the podcast. Video games were a thing.
Video games were a thing.
The hell are video games?
I don't know. They seem to be going up in price too.
They're like the talkies, but you have a little thing that makes the man move on the screen.
Nah, I've always been a wireless man. I've never gone to these talkies myself.
No.
No, the wireless all the way.
I hear this. Is it riling up there? How is everybody in the chat? Nice to see yous. If yous are here, please do drop an out like and let us know what your favourite game of E3 was and what you're looking forward to. Lads, what have you been playing? Pat, let's talk. I know, Pat, you have the perfect thing here because I love the way your mic is like over here and you can't see that you're lagging like mad. It's perfect.
Well, do I have a game to talk about this week? Because I got my hands on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and my
Nice.
God, lads, it's good. It's really good. It's so good. I'm surprised how good it is. Like
So you didn't like it?
I loved it, man. It's such a strong return to form for the series after the story of the last one, which I don't want. You know, I've talked about it enough. I'm not going to go back to the story of the last one. But this kicks off right after Into the Nexus, which was released in 2013. So this has been a long wait, and it's lived up to it so bloody well.
I've heard that word so much this week. Nexus.
But yeah, it's brilliant. Like, first things first, obviously visually it's just stunning, and I'm so glad that they got rid of like the cutscenes from the previous games where like you're just standing there idly and it's so bland and boring looking.
Okay.
Now it's just everything's fully sort of animated for the cutscenes, and it's in game, so there's no like proper cutscenes that the visuals look better. It's like goes into the cutscene and is straight back into the gameplay so seamlessly. No load screens whatsoever. It's
so ridiculous. It's like a God of War type of cutscenes.
Yeah, but like this is ridiculous. Like I press load game and I'm in by the time I press the X button on load game. That's how fast.
I'll give you 3 letters for that, Pat. Aiden, what's the 3 letters?
2 of them are S.
Yeah.
The other one's Z.
Yeah.
That's
the reason.
It's a powerful.
It is funny. People that never like been on a PC with an SSD is like, oh my god, it's so fast. I was like that when I went from laptop to a hard drive to an SSD. It's like this is a new world.
You played just a second, Barry, talking about the visuals. I played a little bit of it, and it's very good from what I played. But we're not surprised. I think this is more of a surprise on the console side than it is the game side. That the new generation PS5, you have to choose between like full 4K, all that at 30 frames per second, or performance mode at 60 frames per second. But it's not. It's still ray tracing, but it's not fully 4K. I thought that myself was kind of surprising on a brand new hardware.
I would just go say the problem with that people don't realize is to play a game at 4K on a PC with full ray tracing, you need a graphics card that costs about $1,000.
That's true, I suppose.
Jesus.
Minecraft looks awesome.
It really, really does.
Looks like a new game. It looks like a new game.
That makes sense, I suppose, for the cost for it. But like, I was just still kind of just like, it's like
this generation are going to have to make that compromise.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I just found it surprising.
It's kind of probably one of the things. It's not up to par yet. You know, it's not up to what it could be. So they have to put it in there just for a selling point, even though it's probably not where it could be right now.
I love how they have AK on the PS5 box. I think that's hilarious. Like, just it's so random. It's like, oh yes, what I always wanted my PS5 for is something that doesn't exist.
Oh, it does. It's just very, very expensive.
Yeah, it's not going to exist in my lifetime with my wages.
Yeah, for now.
But
that,
Paddy,
yeah,
be careful.
What? Oh,
that Joker.
I didn't even feel it. I'm so strong.
But yeah, back to Ratchet and Clank because it's brilliant. I was worried about the dodge mechanic that they're going to put into it because it looked like it would make the game easier. That is not the case. The dodge mechanic is definitely needed. The enemies in this are the most aggressive I've seen in the series altogether. Like, they're shooting at you and shooting at where you will be. It's such a challenging game at points. Like, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty at the moment, and it's brutal. Like, they can get you, and it's frustrating, but my God, it's a good challenge. And it's just so refreshing compared to the old games, because usually you just strafe and you'd be jumping and you'd just be shooting and you'd be fine. You won't survive if you strafe in this. If you strafe, you're dead. They're just going to shoot you. You're losing life.
You haven't finished it yet. It must be a long enough game.
I've already finished it. This
Oh,
is
okay.
my second playthrough. I'm probably going to go into a third playthrough when I finish the second playthrough. That's how freaking good it is.
Nice.
Like, this is basically, it's taken everything good from Ratchet and Clank and brought it to the PS5 in such a perfect package, and yet somehow has refined the gameplay, which is freaking baffling. This is the best playing Ratchet and Clank by freaking miles. And
Nice.
I'm just, it's so surprised. Like, I thought, like, okay, they perfected it over the last few games. There's nowhere they can go that will make this feel as good, but I was wrong. This feels incredible. Like, the hover boots in it, like, they're just so satisfying. And like the bigger open maps that they have, it's just so much fun to platform around, because you don't actually have to use the normal platforms like slingshots and that. You can actually experiment around with the hover boots that will make you go very far, so that you don't actually have to go the right routes to get to secret places, which is a lot of fun. There's lots of exploration that you can do now because of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh man, it's just so bloody good. I like, when I'm at work, I'm thinking about it. When I get home, I'm playing it. When I'm going to sleep, I'm dreaming about it. It's just, oh man, I could gush and gush. It's it's ridiculous how good this game is. Like, I don't think anything is going to beat this for me this year. This is my game of the year, hands down.
Pat,
Like,
won't
there's
see
only-
Pat in another podcast this year. That's it, done now for the year.
Like, I only have one very nitpicky issue with it, and that's just
It's
that,
too good.
not even that. No, like that I would never say that's a problem, but there's two characters in it that I feel like if they had just a bit more time to get chemistry together, it would have made some parts more impactful. But that's all I'll say on that. But that's the only nitpick I have, and it's not even a big nitpick. Like, it's portrayed pretty well in the story, so like, I
Yeah.
can't complain too much. It's just like, I wanted more. That's basically what it is. And like, the game's pretty long. The game is pretty long. It's really like around 20 hours, but like, I was probably, messing around a lot, exploring and just faffing about a lot, because it's just so fun to explore.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things in it is the dimensions and how it sort of references other games. Like, the Rhino in this game drafts in objects from other worlds. So to play around with this, they have like basically Sully's plane from Uncharted that can come in and be used as a weapon to fall on your foes. You can summon in a Thunderjaw from Horizon Zero Dawn, which is ridiculous. You can summon in Sly Cooper's van. You can summon in Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Bentley. It's literally insane what you can summon in, and it's freaking brilliant. And there's even more nods that like that there is a universe in PlayStation, because they find like records to someone explaining dimensions they've been to, and it describes games like Knack. It describes Little Big
Knack.
Yeah, Knack's describing this
Oh,
game as
baby,
a
I'm
different
in.
dimension.
Are you saying the next Jack and Daxter game might be Knack 3?
It's a possibility.
My God.
But yeah, like, there's a whole, like, it's so cool seeing all these references to other games. There's like, I think there's one to Intelligent Cube, if you guys remember what that game is for the
I
PS1.
love Intelligent Cube.
Yes, I'm not entirely sure, but the way that it's spoken about, it sounds like Intelligent Cube. And like, I was like, man, this is so random, but so bloody cool that they're putting in all these little bits here and there. Oh man, it's just it's.
I can just see a meme is like, find a partner to love as much as Pat loves. Find a partner that loves you as much as Pat loves this game.
Like I've grown up with this series, so like this is it's so great.
And has
to
it
see it
expanded on
back
the
again.
original stories?
This continues on from like a few years after Into the Nexus. The chemistry between Ratchet and Clank is brilliant. James Arnold Taylor and David Kay, who voice Ratchet and Clank, is just delivering really good performances this game, like really good. Like, once they're on screen, I was like, man, they're enjoying this, and you can feel it immediately. And it's so good. It ties up a lot of stuff, so it does as well. And I'm so excited for the future of Ratchet and Clank. I'm already waiting for the next game. This is going to keep me occupied for another week or
the
two.
next 4 years.
But oh my,
It sounds like
it's over in 20 hours. Like, oh no.
it sounds like this series is probably going to other Sony games in the next game. Is that what the feeling you get?
This. They can do that if they want to. This opens up the possibility, like you have Sully's Plane coming in. So this is basically saying that there is a connection between all these games. Like the dimensional map maker is a Lombax, which when we find out in Tools of Destruction, the Lombaxes are the guys that made the Dimensionator, which is the thing that's causing all the rifts in this. So he's describing all the dimensions he's been to. And it's just it's so nice listening to it all.
It
like
sounds like it sounds like they wouldn't go that way unless these games are going to mention hopping into other PlayStation games at some stage, because that could be really, really cool.
It could. Like when I saw all these things here, I was thinking,
yeah.
Oh my god, they're not going to make another PlayStation All Stars 2, are they?
I would love that.
I would love that too. The first PlayStation All Star was a great game. Combos in it were brilliant, but some mechanics could have been changed.
Pat,
but
it seems like you've been invigorated. Been invigorated last weekend.
Man, listen. Like I know I say this a lot, but it's what I imagine sex is like. It's just that good. It's just man, like I could listen. I could play this game all day, every day, and I don't think I'd get bored because it's just there's such a good feel.
That is what sex is like.
I think also.
Nail on the head.
Aiden, what did I say? Yes, there was over 100 podcasts, and I never said the word. Now I said it in 2 different podcasts.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to mention though, the haptic feedback in this. No, the haptic feedback from the controller. We'll move on from the sex at the moment.
For the moment.
Well, we'll come back to it.
Well, the haptic
That's
feedback.
What she said.
Is
Hey.
Sometimes.
Come back.
Right. Go on.
But the haptic feedback in it, like, like it's cool how effective it is. Like when you're using his helipack and how it just feels in the controller, bolts coming at you, and you feel the controller as if the bolts are coming at you. It's amazing how effective this is, and they even use the triggers really well. Where if you hold it down halfway, you use one type of variant for the weapon, and if you pull it down fully, it goes full. So like there's a shield weapon. You hold it down halfway, the shield comes up, it can block and absorb shots, and then you push it down fully, you fire off the shield and reflect bullets. It's really cool how that's done. It takes a bit to get used to.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I'll go for the half shot, and you just go for the full shot instead, and you're like, well, damn, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it's like
it's a strong 10.
So good. It's just so good. Like I could listen. I could talk about this game all day.
I know. Yeah. I think John played it as well, didn't you, John?
I did, and like for someone, you're saying you're a lifelong fan of Ratchet and Clank, and it not only is it a fantastic game, but it also hits
John. If don't say it in bad.
No, I'm not.
Just in case anything. Even if you feel bad about it, don't. Pat might cry.
It's a terrible game. No,
Pat might cry.
but like what I'm getting at is I'm a guy who's never ever played a Ratchet and Clank game in his life, and I probably played about 2 or 3 hours of that game so far. I have to get back to it, but what I've played, I put it on the hardest difficulty just for shits and giggles, and I freaking had so much fun even on that opening level. Just fighting things and everything was just fantastic. It's really well done. It looks amazing. Basically everything Pat said is fantastic, and I was going to if you forgot about it, I was going to mention the haptic triggers on the weapons, because that is really cool. The whole thing of like you can if you have to press it down, you can aim the grenade, but if you want to just throw it quickly without aiming, you can just fully press it and he just chucks it. It's everything. It's so good.
It's probably one of the first games developed for PS5 as well, isn't it? Really, there's not that many.
Yeah, Returnal.
Well, Demon Souls and Returnal.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's mad, and we're 6 months into the lifespan of PS5. I think 3 games.
Is there much rain in the game? Because I still think that when it's raining on the controller is one of the coolest feelings of PS5.
I think there was a mission with a little bit of rain, but like I can't recall. I might be recalling a different Ratchet and Clank game altogether at that point. I don't think no, there wasn't much rain at all. But the haptic feedback in it is freaking it's amazing. Like I said, when you're pushing the hover boots, like you feel it in the controller. It's honestly so surprising. Like I thought Astrobot did it brilliantly, like at really showcasing it.
Did.
Like, half the time in Ratchet and Clank, I was like, oh man, I forgot about it's going on the controller, but like it feels so good. It's I'm at a loss of words. I really can't describe just how freaking well Insomniac.
That's the words speak. You've been talking for the last 15 minutes.
I'd be lost too.
What you're saying is
It's bad.
It's all right.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2.
Revenge of the Sith.
Hopefully, like I would love to see that. I don't think will happen because Smash Bros just has the freaking dominance of having all these prominent characters. Like I don't think it's a viable option at the moment because like people are just gonna go look at it and go, Smash clone again. But
You still play it though.
I
Like,
play it.
oh,
I
yeah,
really
I
like
play
the
it.
first one.
the first one was great. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I picked it up because I'm a PlayStation fan. You know, I wanted to play as Ratchet and Clank, Spike, and all those characters. So like, if it happens, I'll be happy. If it doesn't, I won't be too.
I can actually imagine how long you've been like since last weekend. You've been dying to talk about this game.
Man,
it's like
oh,
woo.
it's just
Okay,
so
okay.
good.
I saw on Twitter you mentioned it. I was like, he's going to have things to say on Thursday. Can't wait.
Aiden, have you been playing anything?
Yeah. I finished Star Ocean and I started a game called Bravely Default 2. I talked about this on my What I Was Looking Forward to video a couple of months ago. The one we did. It's pretty new. It's out in the Switch. It's a sequel to Bravely Second, which is the sequel to Bravely Default. They're like somebody took the style of RPG that was made in like 94 and made it as modern as possible. I'm not very far in. I just started this night, but it's the standard turn-based job system.
Right.
Let's see.
Yes, it's the sequel to that game.
Bravely Second, if you can see them, I don't. But yeah.
But one of the things that this one in particular, it's absolutely gorgeous. The towns are almost like models, like they're diorama models. And so there's no loading going into buildings, but whenever you go into a building, it just gets hollow and you can see the inside of them. And it's just done in a really nice style. Everything has a lot of verticality to it. The first city is like just a big tower with buildings everywhere. And it looks like someone made this as a model. The sprites are the same style of sprites they've been using, Square have been using since like Final Fantasy 3 was remade. And I've never been a huge fan of them, but they're okay. The backgrounds are the thing you
What are you
really...
playing it on?
It's on Switch. Yeah. But it's one of those games, starts off pretty ambiguous on how the story is going. You wash up on a beach. You may or may not be from this dimension or world. You've never heard of the island you're on. And there's a princess of a deposed kingdom who wants you to help her find 4 crystals. And I'm just like, oh, this is what I'd like. This is my comfort gaming. When a princess tells me to go find 4 crystals in the game, I'm like, yeah, it's like
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. This is Final Fantasy. If Final Fantasy V went 2 directions, this is the direction where it kept its roots, and the other direction is Final Fantasy VI. Like that's what the Bravely Default series is, and it's simple.
But effective.
It's not. But what I mean is the story is just a simple old school style RPG. The combat is difficult. The bosses in these games are really, really hard. There is
any of these spells or
the thing that these games does is they have the Bravely Default system, in which every turn of combat you can either choose to default and defend and build up a point, or you can use Brave, which uses the points for extra turns. So if you it's the first turn-based system where defending seems like an option you might actually want to do. So you can defend for the first 3 turns and use 4 turns at once to do massive damage, or you can borrow turns at the beginning of combat and use 4 turns, but then you have to wait 3 turns before you can move again. So a lot of like weak enemies, you just be like, I'll burn all my braves and kill them in 1 turn. But if you don't, you're
dead.
screwed.
It's gambling. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So it's a real nice over and back. It's the first sort of game where you kind of, when you get to like, if you've been playing like turn-based RPGs for a while, after a while you get pretty good at them. You know how much you need to grind. Combat gets pretty trivial. In this game, like, you have to use status effects and stuff. You have to learn the spells to cure them.
Yeah.
It's just hard, and it's nice because I've played like Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 multiple times in the stage. I know them all off by heart, and I can just basically physically attack through the whole game. I know exactly where to get all the good gear, and just having to mix up my combat style is really nice.
Nice. It sounds interesting. It's on the Switch.
It is on the Switch.
If anyone wants to pick it up. John, did you play anything else?
Well, what I will do is I'll talk about something I actually watched this week. Not this during the week. I watched it over a space of a few days.
Yeah.
And it's based on a video game, and it's been out for a while. It's just I'm only getting onto it now, and that was the animated Castlevania series. I honestly think it's one of the best shows I've seen on Netflix. I'm not even kidding. I was not expecting what the show was in the best way possible. I sat down and I was like, I'll pick something to watch. And when I saw Castlevania animated series, I was expecting, do you know what? People going in, fighting vampires, fighting in a castle, a bit of mindless fun.
Yeah.
Why not? I'll watch this. What I didn't expect was an unbelievably well-written, slow-moving, character-driven, psychological drama.
Yeah.
It's
That first 10 minutes.
And the whole it's so good. The first 10 minutes is crazy, but it's like no spoilers here. But the second season, the heroes spend 90% of the
Hungry
second
Pat.
season in a freaking library, researching how to do something. 90% of the second series, and it's unbelievable. It's so good. It's all about dialogue. It's all about character development. It's so well written. All the characters are likable. There's one character in it called Isaac, which is probably one of the best character arcs I've seen in any show of television in the history of the medium.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
But if they actually do character development, it wouldn't be hard to be better than most of the stuff on Netflix. Crap.
I'm not talking about Netflix. I'm talking about a lot of things I've seen.
Yeah.
It gives you think things are going to happen one way, and they don't. And what I liked about it is that the characters are intelligent.
Right.
They'll do something, like something will happen, and if it was a different TV show, if it was a different anything else, they'd do this one thing that was stupid, just to keep to make the show more interesting, to keep it going.
Yeah.
But in this show, the character will go, "No, that's stupid. Of course, I'm not going to do that." But then something else would happen that makes more sense. I think it was just because I was so not expecting it to be the show that it was.
Yeah,
I was
that's
expecting
usually
mindless.
the best thing.
I was expecting mindless. Let's go to a castle and let's kill some vampires. That's what I expected. Again, to reiterate, second season, the characters spend 90% of the season in the library, researching stuff. And the second season is about the hierarchy of the villains and how that works in Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
And you're getting to know the villains as if they were protagonists. And that's the majority of the second season. I can see some people seeing it being boring. And I can see people, why aren't they fighting? It's been 4 episodes and all they've been doing is talking. And it's like, I freaking adored it. I loved it.
Sounds very interesting. I might give it a shot myself.
It's good.
Really good.
It's really well written, so it is. I
Did
still
you
remember some
know-
of the lines from it.
The Muffin Man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Alucard is Dracula backwards?
Yeah. That was... that blew my mind.
Mic drop, walks away.
And you can hear some voices in it as well. Like you hear something like it's not. Like my man, I can't remember his name. He was in it in season 3.
50
I
Cent.
was like, that's Bill Nye, 100%. That's Bill Nye, and I looked it up and it was 50 Cent.
My man, 50 Cent.
I shot 9 times. 9 times. No, it's a fantastic show. Well written, slow paced. Exactly not what I was expecting, but it was way better than what
I've kind of ran out of things to watch on Netflix, so I might give it a shot.
Yeah, no, I was
Oh, it's
expecting.
fantastic.
I was expecting some like schlock, like absolute, like let's go in and kill these vampires. And I was happy for it. What I got was like being emotionally invested in all these characters and the storyline.
Yeah. Well, is there more seasons being made? Hope
It's done.
it's
Isn't it?
finished, is it?
No, the 4th season was the last one there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Now we're getting He-Man.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That looks good.
It looks freaking deadly, so it does. I can't believe you got Mark Hamill for Skeletor.
It's
like I think I'm just gonna hear
genius.
Joker rather than anything else. But
but it's good casting.
Yeah, it works.
like I'm gonna miss the sort of
how you could do a good
He-Man.
It's not
I'm gonna
bad.
miss that.
It's not
Now it'll
bad.
be He-Man. Hello.
It's also not bad.
For myself, all I was playing was Call of Duty last weekend for a while. I usually jump on a Saturday, a Friday and a Saturday for a couple of games. It's getting harder, but there's a new season coming out already, season 4. I think it was very quick compared to other battle royales, but it's getting a new point of interest. The game is just something to jump on, play a little bit at the weekend,
Yeah.
chill out. But apart from that, watching crap on telly mostly.
Are you getting the Tarkov bug back? No.
I've had it for a while.
I'm a little bit. I'm getting it back now, Paddy. I've been watching Pesley again.
I've been watching it for the last like month or something, but I've been like watching Pesley and watching other people like what's his name, the doctor fella, I can't remember his name.
Dr. Lupo.
Yeah, Dr. Lupo. That's it. I was
Yeah.
watching him playing as well. He's very good at the game. He's not as exciting as I'd rather watch Pesley, but there's some good content out there for it. I think Pesley's getting pissed off too. I think he wants.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I think he wants to wipe us out because he's running out of content. He got his sister to play. He's like, yeah, come.
Sicily, I saw it.
Sicily. I watched it. It was good fun. But I'm definitely getting back the game. I can't wait for they're bringing out Lighthouse supposedly next, and they're doing Scav Karma next.
Is that's not coming out though before the factory update though? The next one's a factory update.
Yeah,
I don't think
probably
Lighthouse
not.
is. Yeah.
Probably not. That next one I'm looking forward to. I am definitely getting the out bug back for it. All right. I'm looking forward to jumping back on it again. But I don't know what they're doing. They did they moved one of the bosses to a different map today. If nobody knows, they put Killa onto Factory today, which is weird because he's on interchange. But I'm definitely getting the bug back.
He's just going on holiday, so he is.
Yeah, but it's good to see him on a different map.
Well,
well,
he.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
No, you should still talking about that's fine. No worries.
No, all I was going to say was they did say, like, again, number one, this is probably just promoting the new factory update. But number two, in the podcast where the Keith had with Pesley, he did say that they were going to start doing more events, like non-wipe events, just having events because people are just looking forward to the wipes and they want people to look forward to other things. So they're going to do little events like this. Apparently, it's in their to-do list.
What I think they should do is do a wipe and then do events. Because people, there's a lot of people have fallen off the game last 3 months or something. Because you get to a certain point and everyone just kind of jumps off it because you can't go any higher and you can't do any more. So the game's kind of stuck there at the minute because it's in development. They're just taking too long.
Having a limited amount of progression seems to be a problem with that game.
Yeah, but it's an unlimited product. It gets to a certain, like, especially if you get to Kappa. A lot of people get to Kappa. It's the only people that really stick to the game is play, but are streamers, that don't have any other content to produce. That can't. That's their main audience. That's their job. That's the people that are still playing it. You know what I mean?
And they can't pivot off it.
No, they can't. They have to keep playing it every single day.
And a lot of them, and then they'll start a hardcore account, and then they'll reset their main account and just do it all again because they're like, when's the wipe?
Yeah,
I need to make content. This is my livelihood here.
yeah. They need to do so. Like when they are developing the game, they're going to have to come up with some way of doing that. And I think they said they're going to have two. You can have 2 accounts or something. One is your main account. Another one wipes every few months or something. That's the only way to do it. Or they come up with something else. But the main storyline game, what they set out to be, it's not a forever thing either. So like I don't know what way it's going to be. But the way it's set up now is brilliant. But I think this needs to wipe more. It's only 7 months, isn't it? So.
Yeah, whatever, Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
whenever,
Christmas Eve,
however long
so
that was.
next month, and the next month. So it's been 6 months.
It's been too long. I
Wait
need
till
my wipe fix.
Legitimately. You may be jesting, Pat, but legitimately, I do need me wipe face.
I think it's just because it's a
Actually-
community event as well. That's more what it is.
I still don't think there's going to be a. Sorry, Aidan, I just don't think there's going to be a wipe. Is all I was going to say for this one.
I was going
But,
to say, I find it interesting that I can see a lot of parallels between the way Destiny had to learn how to do its seasonal model.
Yeah, it was the same thing at the start, was it?
It was a lot of just they had to work towards getting a model that has very small amounts of content every week. That's what
Yeah.
they're doing now.
But the thing with EFT is their dream is so big. That's the problem. Like it's monumental things that they're trying to do. Like
The scope is massive.
unbelievable. Like the new map that they're showing off the streets. They're on about having 40 characters on the one map, and it's absolutely massive. It's the biggest map out of the whole lot of them, and it's just what they're trying to do is unbelievable. And then they're going to try and connect every single map together, and they're trying to do like it's so much there, and the detail that they're going on to now. The surroundings are destructible. You can break through walls. Like they're just doing so much. And it's just
Do you
going to take
feel-
patience. Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like they want to be bought by a massive company?
I don't think so. I think your man's just a bit of a.
he's a bit
perfectionist
of a,
kind of thing.
exactly.
He has
He's
a dream and he seems to have money and he has time.
But
I think that's what it
It
is.
seems to be that that's like 20 years worth of work.
I don't think I honestly don't think he minds. He keeps saying like, "Oh, it'll be out fully next year, or the year after." I think he knows it's not. But I am with Paddy. He's just like he's an absolute perfectionist. He's the kind of guy that like he doesn't care. There's a lot of times where he doesn't care what you think. He'll go. Someone will go to him and be like, "Oh, I think if you include this into the game, it would be way better." And he'll just go, "No." But he's that kind of guy. He'll just go, "No, it's not in my vision. I'm sorry."
Yeah. But I think the only thing I have a problem with that is if the game is not the same way it is now, it might not be as successful. Do you know that's the
Yeah.
problem as well? Because he's on about it being a storyline, a story RPG game, and it's like at the minute it's an MMO. It's like this doesn't make any sense.
the way it is now, the way that you just go in, it's just about surviving and getting your quests done,
Yeah.
and then there being a wipe every so often,
Mhm.
and is why people love the game. So if you take that core out of it and make it a completely different game, I am with you. I don't know what that will be like in the future, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Obviously, he's thought about this as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if he
Probably
has.
already very successful.
Yeah, but I don't know if he actually has thought about it. You know, because it's like this is only testing. This is testing.
This is it's in
you know,
beta.
yeah.
Anytime anything goes wrong ever when you're playing Tarkov, all you have to say is, "It's in beta."
Yeah, that's it. And the community is toxic as fuck. Let's move on.
Say it is.
Yeah, it is,
Before we move on, I just want to say, even not including recent controversies, I'd highly recommend the Harley Quinn show. It's very good. I started watching it.
your mic seems to have changed there or something. For me, anyway. Just maybe try that.
Technical difficulties.
Is that?
Yeah, that's a bit better. I think.
Sounds good there, yeah.
Oh, cool.
The Harley Quinn
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Channel.
still watching it.
Oh yeah,
It's
on
pretty-
the
pretty
on
good.
the internet. So
Yeah, it's on the internet.
It's on the internet. Just go look for it. It's on the internet somewhere.
Everything's
Really
on the internet
funny.
somewhere.
Really
That's it.
funny and an incredible voice cast. Absolutely incredible.
Nice. Give it a shot if you find it. Let's move on to E3 because we've been talking for like 45 minutes. About what we're playing. It worked. It did well. Thanks, Pat. Is there any big talkers points? And I probably can go through them. The reason I've got IGN's list up here, and they've all the big games. So obviously the biggest one, not the biggest one, but the one that everyone's looking for to most on this podcast anyway, I think is Elden Ring. Would I be wrong?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even I'm absolutely buzzed for this.
Yeah,
Did
the Soul series is legitimately probably my favorite. I have a series of games that had to be up there with my favorite series of games. And the more I learn about this game, even after the fact, Vativich, if you know him, he's probably the prime creator of Souls content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he is like going through all the interviews and everything, and he's making videos about everything that's been talked about the game. And it's just the more I hear about it, the cooler and cooler and cooler it sounds.
Yeah, the trailer looks absolutely fantastic to me.
does.
It really looked like I was going to enjoy. Even I'd love to jump in and play it now, and that's something.
Celtic mythology. When I heard that, I was like, "That is, I hope there's a Coleman boss."
Yeah.
It's about time
well,
Celtic mythology started getting more gameplay. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
oh,
really
definitely.
cool.
But like the whole thing is that what came out
Balak.
afterwards. What came out after? Oh, Balak! He freaking turned into stone with his red eye. That's him, isn't it? No.
Yeah, they have Balor.
What's Balor? Yeah, sorry.
Balor-
When
Balor
you
was the
said
king,
it,
the giant king.
yeah, just I forgot about him. The second you said it, it just brought back like memories of my childhood. That's why I got so excited.
Yeah.
But no, what the way they brought it up is there's going to be 6 areas, like 6 open world areas, and they're all going to have a main dungeon. And the main dungeon is like what you'd expect to see in Dark Souls. It's one big interconnected area in that Dark Souls sense. But in the open world, there's going to be loads of stuff to do. There's going to be a load of like like caves and caverns and stuff to find and stuff to do and ways to level up and side missions. And they said like all these nothing's going to be bar obviously the main hub you have to go to, but nothing. All the MP. You have a world map, by the way, which is a world for obviously it's open world game. That's a first for a Dark Souls game. You're going to have a world map, but that's going to tell you where you've been, but it doesn't give you points. They made it that there's no points of interest. It's just so that you know where you are and where you've been. And all the NPCs and all the stuff that are out in the open world, you have to find yourself through exploring, which I think is amazing.
Do you think you'll get lost?
Possibly, yeah, but you're in a world like that, who cares?
What are you saying,
It
Pat?
seems to be taking a lot of Breath of the Wild influences.
I think so as well.
It's super, super cool.
Apparently, like, what did they say? Not half, maybe just under half the bosses can actually be skipped. Like Breath of the Wild, you can, and the bosses, there's no particular order you do the bosses in. You can do them kind of like Demon Souls in a way, that you can do whatever area you want.
I'm surprised with J.R.R. Martin, and it's not going to be heavily story bound.
Or he's just there for lore.
He's just there for lore.
Yeah.
I think so. Like he I think he only wrote. Pat's right. He only wrote like the world, the lore, the background of the world, and what the Tarnished are, and what that he brought the backstory of the world basically.
I love how every From game will have a new word for undead.
Yeah, Tarnished this time. What they unkindled, tarnished, or not hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
Yeah, but what's something undead? Great undead. What is it? Wretched undead. Something undead was one of them. Yeah, cursed undead. One of them. I should know, but I can't think. What was it in Demon Souls?
Many of them.
I can't remember. I have the Demon Souls of the PS3.
Just dead.
Dead.
Just dead. What do you think, Pat?
Like I'm excited for it. I want to see more of it, like actual, just proper gameplay, just to like not cut in between. I want to see like give me like 5 or so minutes of just pure gameplay. Let me see what's going on here. So that's what I'd be looking forward to. But like here, listen, I played Bloodborne. I'm sold already. I know that these guys can deliver. And you know I'm gonna pick it up too. Like I already picked up Sekiro, and I still have to play that, but I'm looking forward to playing it at some point.
Fantastic, Pat. It's my second, and I'm a Dark Souls fan. I would say Soulsborne. My 2 favorite games is number 1 Bloodborne and number 2 Sekiro. I prefer those than any of the main Dark Souls games, and that's saying a lot. When you get
the gameplay, and it's a side scroll and beat 'em up.
That's something Sanctuary.
That's not this one.
Just one thing that I'm like, you were talking about it there, John, that all the 6 places you can go, the dungeons are like the maps from the previous games. Like they're all explorable and not interconnected through it.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the open world is just literally a bigger sort of hunter's dream that you can explore and do stuff in?
Possibly, but like with, we'll say, roaming enemies and hidden away like not dungeons, but like caves and stuff that you can find stuff in, and probably I'm not sure, honestly. I only know what they've said, but I would assume that it's a bit more than a hunter's dream, that it's like roaming enemies and stuff you can find. Yeah, possibly. A hunter's dream, but with enemies and with like a lot of kind of secret stuff to find. Possibly. But very big. And a horse. Hey.
Good old horsey.
A double jumping horse.
A double jumping horse.
Yeah.
That's all you need in this life.
Yeah.
Wish I had one. Is your release date? January 21st, 2022.
And I believe them, and it probably will get pushed back because everything gets pushed back. Let's be real.
But you stutter while you're saying it. Do you really believe it?
I don't think it will be actually pushed back at all. I think, like, listen, they revealed this game in 2018 back at E3.
Yeah,
and like that was in the works at that point. So basically, I think at this point they came out, they finally had something to show.
Yeah.
This is basically like, oh yeah, we're ready now, guys. Sorry about like revealing this game way back and making you wait so bloody long. This is coming, and it's going to be coming on this
I
date.
kind of rather they
don't-
did that and actually give it
Yeah.
a proper date without saying it's going to come out, next year, and they have no intentions of bringing it out
Mm.
next year. They're just bullshit.
I mean, again, I'd be inclined to believe From Software because they're usually good with stuff like that. That's why.
Yeah.
But it could be delayed. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It'll be a birthday present to me if it doesn't get delayed.
Is that your birthday?
It's 2 days before.
Yeah, mine's roughly around. Mine's the 31st, so just before it.
I just seen something that Ubisoft was at Rainbow Six Extraction. Is that an expansion on Rainbow Six? Is
Rainbow
that a
Six
brand new game?
Action. It's a brand new game.
Oh.
It uses the same characters and abilities from Siege
Right.
in a Left 4 Dead style game with aliens.
It's about time they bought a brand new Rainbow Six game out. To be fair, like how long is Rainbow Six Siege out?
Games being Left 4 Dead was kind of a theme of this E3.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like even that one where it didn't show any gameplay. What was the one? The big.
Are you talking about the Vampire Hunter one?
Yes. The one
Yeah.
at the end of the Xbox one.
Yeah. That was really cool looking though. That was a good trailer.
It was cool looking, but it was a cool CGI trailer.
Yeah, it was a
I mean,
cool cinematic trailer.
It'd be a good movie, you know.
Yeah,
I
I
want to see the
agree.
game.
But yeah, even like what the first Summer Games Fest was the first, and it had two of them that had the Anacrusis and Back for Blood, the real Left 4 Dead game.
I'm actually kind of excited for that because, like, I did like Left 4 Dead 2.
I love Left 4 Dead. The fact that it's a day one Game Pass game to me is unreal.
I never actually
Sure, it
played Left 4
wasn't
Dead.
everything
Left 4 Dead
Day
2 was
one
one I played.
pass.
27 of the 30 games that Microsoft showed were day one Game Pass games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great insight by themselves. Like it's a great move. It's a boss move. That's what I think it is.
It really is.
It's going to. Do you know what it's going to cause as well? Is a lot of competition, which I love in between PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah,
It's going to
keep 'em on
round
their
up even
toes.
more. Because
Exactly.
PlayStation are going to have to go. You know what? We're going to have to do that now as well. Because they're going to have to start doing it better. Not doing it better, but like trying to keep up with that kind of mentality. I know a lot of people that you have that argument again. You don't own the game, but you get to play the game for very cheap.
I'm a little worried about this though, just simply on the basis that, like, you know, these games, like everyone in the gaming like development community are saying games are getting more expensive, and I'm not sure how well a system like this is making money compared to actually selling the games by themselves.
Okay, well,
Like,
I'd
s-
like to hit back on that. The reason it'd make more money is because they have to pay licenses for as long as they have the game. So that means they'll probably make more money over time than spend someone buying the game outright. Because you think about Netflix and
But
that,
you
if we go with that subscription model, someone can release a movie. I'm paused. It depends how long that people go back and play the games over and over again, Pat. Because if you if you keep a movie on Netflix, every time someone goes to watch that movie, someone's paid a bit of a money for it. You get me, like a license fee. So that's what will happen with the games as well.
I know, but like in just in comparison, like because like you like if let's say you go out and buy Blu-ray, you're paying like what 20 quid for a Blu-ray, maybe new, and if you're buying DVD, it's a tenner.
Mm-hmm.
But like you also have like those things are usually released on film or like in cinemas or something.
Cinemas
So
first,
you're making lots of money there anyway.
Mhm.
But if these games are coming out on this pass, like more people will go to it. But like, how much is the pass at the moment?
Like
It is
13 or something.
14, 19.
Yeah,
14
something
is
like that. Something like that. Yeah.
14. Yeah. So basically, you're getting games that are worth they're 80 to 70 quid now,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and you're getting them for €14. So see, I just don't. I'm not sure. Like, I know Microsoft can pay all that because, like, you know, deep pockets and all that.
Mm.
But at the same time, I'm just worried that
I'd say
it will affect some way.
the way it's
The
working is
average person that owns a console buys 1 to 2 games a year. The average person that pays for Game Pass gives them 200 quid a year. That's double, and it's over the entire almost. It's what 90% of Xbox owners have Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think it's the. I
You'd
think
be
it's how it
silly not
works out
to.
as.
You'd be silly not to have it.
They're making so much money from Game Pass because it's consistent.
yeah. That's like
Uh,
that's a lot of where the business
You don't
models
have
are
to
going.
worry about marketing. Marketing therefore it makes the game cheaper to make.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any
Yeah.
of those things. Pass is just subscription models are just more financially sound in the long run.
That's what they all want to do. All the businesses want to do their subscription model because they're getting
You
money
kn-
hand over
when
fist.
you- yeah, when you know how much money you're going to get in the first of every month, it makes your business more secure. It makes your future more predictable.
And the fact
That's
that
all they want.
Xbox owns these studios means that they're in contracted with them to pay them a certain amount of years to develop these games, and then they're probably given a license fee. What do you call it? Forever, like every time they sell a game, every time they rent one out, they have to give them percentage of the money. That's the way it would be contracted. So I'd say they could end up making more money. To be fair,
The one thing I will say, this felt like a challenge. Like this felt like Microsoft, for lack of better words, just putting the dick on the table and going,
Oh,
here
yeah.
it is.
I'll put a little bit more PC. Laying down the gauntlet, I think, is what you not to put your dick on the table.
It was like they're like, here's Halo. Doesn't Halo multiplayer look good? Do you want to not have to pay for it? Yeah, don't pay for it. It's just
Everything. And as you said earlier, like if it turns out that, again, I think actually this might have been before the podcast, but if it does turn out that like everything that Bethesda is making is exclusive to Xbox and PC,
it's huge.
that's huge. And everything that not Skyrim, the new Elder Scrolls, whatever, exclusive to Xbox and PC. By the way, day one on Game Pass. That would be. I know Starfield is, but if it was something like the Elden Ring,
like
Elder Scrolls.
Do you think about it though?
Also, what people don't realize as well is Microsoft could buy Sony with their pocket change.
They probably wouldn't let
They
them buy
are
it now, would they?
so much bigger than Sony, and nobody realizes that. I don't know. Japan would never allow it to happen, but
No.
I'm just saying they could.
I'd say they could, but it's not because Xbox are into a lot more stuff than Sony. Not
Oh yeah, Microsoft.
yeah.
Microsoft's just a massive corporation.
Yeah.
But this is the past 5 years have been the first time where Microsoft as a corporation have been financially supporting the games division in the way that people wanted. For a long time, Bill Gates kind of wanted a games division because he thought it'd be fun, and their shareholders for like a decade and a half were trying to convince them to get rid of it. And it was only at the beginning of the Xbox One when Phil Spencer took over. I don't know what that guy has for the gift of the gab, but he managed to convince them to properly fund this, and it's been a huge success as far as I can
But
see.
like the way Xbox is doing this now, they've kind of turned up the old, turned the heat up the last year.
Put your dick on the table.
Yeah, but it's, to be honest, it's about time, and it's bringing balance to the force. Like that's the only way I can say about it, because like it's been so long where it's PlayStation's exclusive after exclusive after exclusive, doing the right thing. It's about time Xbox caught up. And I know
The
everyone's saying
Xbox One,
yeah, well,
the Xbox One launch was such a
It
disaster.
was the worst. It was probably one of the obviously not the worst, but one of the worst.
They basically went on stage, put a neck around the rope, and kicked the stool.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer has managed to grab them and take them off the rope.
What was the freaking the V quote?
Digital-
When people were like, but sir, not everybody, it can't always be online because not everybody has internet connections. It's like we have an alternative of the Xbox One that is you don't need you don't need online. It's called the Xbox 360. I've just committed career suicide.
There's two, that and the what do you not all have mobile phones? They're the two worst.
They're up there. They're the same
They're
level.
the two worst.
Why you guys don't have mobile phones?
Oh, they're the two worst.
but I have to say though, about the everyone's saying about the PlayStation's falling behind stuff. I don't think PlayStations have revealed their hand yet. I think that's kind of what I think. No one hasn't.
I don't think
really
they've fallen behind either, because I don't think PlayStation's fallen behind because PlayStation makes prestige level single player or like first party games. And nobody else does that to their level.
No.
You can also see that Sony is making moves. They're funding a lot of rising up studios with veteran developers at the moment. Like they got the person behind Assassin's Creed there recently. Yeah. She started up her own studio, and Sony's funding that to get an exclusive game.
Yeah.
The creators behind the zombies for Call of Duty.
Yes,
they started.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
Sony is funding them now currently.
Was that the big one that they released, Paddy? Was that the one that they announced on the E3? What one was that one? They said they were working on.
No.
There was one called. You keep going. I'll remember their name in a second. There's another company there as well.
Yeah, there's another company. I can't think of it, but there's three that I know of so far. There's the two that I mentioned. There's another one, so that might be the one you're thinking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sony is doing things in the background, and can I just say, just quite frankly, it's great that all three systems are doing so great.
Yeah.
This is the first
Yeah.
generation where we've had like
Don't forget
consoles
the PC.
actually, all being like on the same level to a certain extent.
PC,
Like PlayStation 5 is a bit ahead of Xbox, but like Xbox is not far behind. And
Yeah.
then like Nintendo Switch is freaking killing it at the moment.
Is there a new Dragon Ball Z game? Am I blind? Is Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
there's
Z is that already?
Kakarot's getting really released for Switch.
Yes,
Yeah.
with all this DLC.
Nice.
But I can't remember the name of that studio, but I remember they announced it on one of the things, and they said we're exclusive with Sony on E3. It was on the game show, and their name was something like Renegade or something like that. Wasn't Renegade, but it was something like the word was like, oh, we're against the grain. That was the name of their company, but for the life of me, I can't remember.
I have the Anacrusis.
No. Doesn't matter anyway. But they were on the Summer Game Fest, and they're old people who used to work on Call of Duty and stuff, and they've started their own
then that is the people that I was talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of them, but yeah, they recently started up their new studio. They're working on something new.
Yeah, and that was it, and that's all they said.
Sony basically came in
Okay.
and said, we'll pass you a bit of money there. We know you've made good stuff beforehand, and we want it exclusive on our system.
Brown envelope.
That's basically, it basically is a
Irish
brown
style.
envelope.
Irish style.
But like not under the table, above table brown envelope.
I like Xbox that I can just go play all the games on the PC. It's just great. It's just, come
Yeah.
on. That's
Like, that's the thing. Game Pass is a PC thing as well as an Xbox thing.
That's it. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
I have it for PC. But they were saying as well that people on the Xbox One can play the next gen games on that through the cloud.
Yeah.
That's another great move as well. It's just like
Yeah.
just everyone can play. We all play together. I
Within,
don't want your money.
within a few years, things like Fire Sticks and Roku's smart TVs won't have an Xbox app.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Stadia.
It was Deviation, by the way, was the name of the studio.
Oh, that makes
Deviation.
sense. That's the name of my Destiny
Yeah.
clan. Well, it's
Renegade. It was close. Renegade, Deviation. It was like it's against the grain. You know what I mean? Deviation.
What did you think of Skyrim in space?
I mean, didn't really show anything about it. So what can you do? It was getting another CG trailer.
Visually, it looked like I wasn't even impressed by the CG
Pew, pew.
trailer. It looked a bit I
So-
was like, well, here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of Bethesda games. I think like just they're glitchy messes that are horrible to play. I tried playing Skyrim. I remember like my third dragon I killed. He just kept twirling around in the sky and never came down, and I never got that dragon. So, and like there's
Can't
other
chase the
things like the dragon. I killed another one, and it just fell into the ground, and I didn't get the dragon soul either. There was so much wrong with that game, and it's a mess when I think about playing it. But
everyone
I
in chat,
hope
welcome. Please do
that
drop
with
a
a new
like.
gen, the games look much better than they have currently. Because looking at Bethesda's games most of the time, they're a bit disappointing.
They just like releasing
But,
games unfinished. I think.
It depends which one.
Yeah.
Obviously,
depends-
like,
it
look at
depends which
freaking Fallout 76.
Depends which Bethesda you're talking about. There's Skyrim and all that as well, but there's also like Doom and
Oh yeah,
Wolfenstein
Machine
and
Gun.
stuff.
Yeah, well,
They're
they're
good.
Actually
They're good
pretty
games.
good looking games. Yeah,
They're very good
They're
games.
brilliant games. Yeah.
And Deathloop. I know that's is that PlayStation exclusive Deathloop?
That is
Deathloop,
implicit.
yeah.
That is
I was
it.
wondering why. I was wondering why we didn't see anything. I was wondering why we
PlayStation
didn't.
exclusive.
I was
Yeah,
wondering why
like-
we didn't see anything of Deathloop.
So
But
weird.
that looks cool. Deathloop does look cool.
I'm excited for Deathloop.
But again, we didn't see anything on E3, so
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course you didn't, because the only people that could have shown
Exactly.
it was Microsoft.
we ain't showing you
Uh,
that. There's this other game, you know what I hear about.
Deathloop feels like it's been coming out for decades. And I've seen so many trailers for it.
Well, it is about time, so maybe it did.
It could be, yeah. The
Um,
Nexus.
Yep.
The Nexus. Forza Horizon new game coming out, isn't it?
That looks
Forza
cool,
Horizon
and I'm not
5.
even. I know you are Aiden, but like even
Yeah.
I was looking at it.
It's
Going,
in Mexico, isn't
it
it?
looks
It
cool.
is.
Mm.
Those Horizon games are just fun.
They've got a big fan culture as well. And people absolutely adore
Oh,
them.
they're so like it's just massive open worlds and a huge selection of cars. It's just, I love the way those games play so much. Like I said,
Can I just say
I
the
can-
water effects
The what?
that were shown, the water effects that were
Oh,
shown
yeah.
in the trailer for it? My God!
Even,
Oh,
even that bit where they were showing,
mm.
they were.
Oh.
Oh, you're gone green, Aiden. Aiden.
oh,
The Green Man is back.
I can see the green in your face. Must be the camera. I don't know what to do.
Oh, you're back. You're back to normal.
Yay!
But even when they were like, "Oh, we've taken all these photographs, 4K resolution photographs of all these backgrounds, so we can put them into our game," and then you assumed what they were showing was an actual photograph, and then it showed the cars pull up, and you're like, "Oh no, we're actually in the game." I was actually, oh, that's cool. That's very, very nice.
Yeah, it was really. A new console should always have a car game just to show you how good the graphics really are.
It really should. That's the way they released all the old consoles. I don't get why they don't do it now.
Yeah, car games is always how you do.
It's usually always came with the console as well. It was the first game that you got with it. What else is coming out? What else?
Metal Slug Tactics is a game I'm really excited
I've seen that.
for.
That looks decent.
I'm a huge Metal Slug fan, and the idea that you get to like play a Metal Slug game and look at those really cool sprites and not have to run past everything and try not to die. That's always a problem. Metal Slug games look so good; they're so well drawn, but you're like constantly almost dead.
Almost dead every single time.
Yeah, so you don't really get to look at them. So a game where you get to like chill back a little and look at those, that I'm really excited for.
What I have to say is, I don't think a conference. I don't think I've ever felt like my time has been wasted by a conference before until I watched the Capcom conference.
What happened?
It was just nothing. Not absolutely not. The Resident Evil. They showed Resident Evil. There's a deal. There's a DLC come. It was text on the screen going, "We are working on the DLC." They showed a bit of RE-verse. They showed these previously unavailable Phoenix Wright games. Set in
Are we
London.
not getting any remakes this year?
Oh, the old Phoenix Wright's coming.
Hold on a second now.
The ones that sorry, I forgot. Maybe you'd be interested in this. The old ones. Apparently, there's ones where it's like in the past where it's set in London.
Yeah, then there were just Japanese exclusives. They were never released.
They're coming. They're coming.
Oh, I'll play.
They're coming in. Don't worry.
Love the Phoenix Wright games. They're great.
And they showed, and then they talked about the Capcom Cup for way too long, and then that was the presentation.
You thought Capcom was disappointing. Well, let me speak about Namco Bandai.
Oh yeah.
Let me paint a picture for you guys. Let me paint a picture for you. I was sitting down. I was happy. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get to see a few games by Bandai Namco. Maybe even Digimon Survive, a game that's been in development for way too long and I really want to play. They start off with the House of Ashes, which is the next Dark Anthology game. And I'm like, okay, fine. They're getting this out of the way. The good stuff's going to come after this. 10 minutes into it, most of it is an interview. You're not actually seeing the gameplay of that game. So, like, it's really strange how they do it. So you're just looking at this guy talking about the game and tiny clips just sprinkled in between. And then it's over and you're like, okay, now we get to the good stuff. And it was over. That was it. They just ended it. Like, sat there for 10 minutes after because, like, it went to the IGN crew and they're just, like, talking about the House of Ashes, and I was like, okay, maybe they're going deep diving into this game and there's something coming down in a few minutes time, but no, it was over. And I was just there in bed thinking, man, this is the worst way E3 could have ended. Like, this why even have a conference? Like, this was like a video that could have been released by itself.
Yeah. It's kind of like Razors. Like, again, they showed one or two cool things, but it was an hour and a half. And they showed the really thin laptop. They showed a battery charger, and they showed glow in the dark face mask, basically. And that was an hour and a half.
I'd take an hour and a half of glow in the dark face mask over just one game that
Maybe
I'm not
they
interested in.
should have probably dropped it in
whatsoever.
at the end of stuff. If they only had one or two things, they should have just dropped it in at the end of
it.
something else that didn't really mind.
Or just release a video on the internet, and the same amount of people will see it. You don't need this shit. Sorry, but anyway.
You let them know. You tell them. If you see them, let us know.
My opinion on all this. I do get the hype, but it's all meaningless, really, in the age of the internet. But anyway.
Another good game. Let me see. Hades coming to Xbox. Enjoy that.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And PlayStation, so it is as well. Thank God, I really want to play that game.
Oh, dude, I think you'll love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
What else?
Guardians
Galaxy. That looks class.
Guards. Yes, that is actually a very interesting game.
I went for a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, I think they really captured the spirit of the characters through the dialogue that was portrayed. through the like 10-minute gameplay, which
Mm.
was it was really long. It dragged on
was.
for a bit, but like it was so good to actually see a game in action. And yeah, it's such I think a right move to make after Marvel's Avengers. And yeah, it looks exciting. I'm a bit disappointed that it's only Star-Lord that you can play as. Like, I would have liked if you could switch between the characters, but
Yeah.
like, it seems that you can offer commands up to them to
Anyone
fly
I
switch.
ask about that Avenger game is like, it's okay. I don't
Yeah.
see people giving out. Or do you play it?
I think
No, I haven't played it yet. I've always heard that it has a pretty good single player mode, but then the game is designed to be a looter and it doesn't have the replayability to be a looter.
Okay.
That's always what I hear about it.
Yeah.
also, can I just say, Star-Lord looks super sexy with blonde hair.
Does he? Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, my God, like, you know.
He's got a
like,
mane on him. I swear to God.
like,
More of a
Cannot
Drax
be
fan.
overheating. You're more of a Drax fan. Yeah, I suppose he's got the muscles and the tattoos, huh? He's a bad guy. He's a
I was so
bad guy.
disappointed
Duh.
at first when I realized they weren't going to get the licenses again for the characters, and I literally thought it was a deal breaker. In my head, I was like, "How did they not learn after this Avengers game that people don't want the non-film versions?" But by the end of that trailer, I was like,
Who do you make a
This
deal
is
with
a
to make
game
them
I'll
games if you
play.
can't get the licenses? You
The
just-
"I know
devil.
it's so weird."
huh? The devil.
That's-
Mephisto.
I genuinely think it's like there's the comic because that's the comic looking Guardians of the Galaxy. There's that license, and then there's the license that includes
Mm,
six of the biggest movie stars in the world, and that's probably like 600 times more expensive.
Well, that kind of says to me, though, is if they can't get the licenses, that maybe someone involved with the movie is going to make a game. Could be.
Disney. It wouldn't surprise me if Disney spun up their games division again at some point, but
Like it's good.
hard to
It's definitely something to be bled dry.
They-
That's
Definitely,
what's-
yeah.
they are Omnicorp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metroid's getting a new game. That's pretty
talking
fucking
about
awesome.
yeah, Metroid Dread, or
Yeah.
as a lot of people were reading it when they saw Metroid Dead, which I found quite funny.
This
yeah,
Massive
it's
cancelled
cult
15 years ago.
following as well.
This game was cancelled 15 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's not very nice. Poor Dread. What else? Legend of
like
Zelda.
Final
obviously.
Fantasy Origin.
Oh,
Final
yeah,
Fantasy
yeah.
Origin.
Like the
Again?
Square Enix, like yeah, this is I'm not sure whereabouts it's set in the Final Fantasy universe, but
Final
it
Fantasy
looks
1.
fun. Final Fantasy 1.
Yep.
But
Was there not a game called Final Fantasy Origin already?
yeah, but this is like so
No.
what is
Was
it?
it
Like
not?
Firstborn or
I thought there was.
Oh yeah, there's Final Fantasy Origins was a PS1
Was it a PSP
Origins.
game
box
as well?
set that had Final Fantasy 4, 5, and Chrono Trigger.
What's the one that's on
Oh, no, it's
PSP?
Anthology.
there's loads on PSP.
I thought
It
Origin
has
was
to
on
be more
PSP.
specific.
I thought Origin was on PSP.
Origin might be the collection of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on PSP. You might
Maybe
be right.
that's what it was. I know I've seen something like
It's
that.
Anthology on PS1.
But also Kazuya coming to freaking Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that was a great
Man,
trailer.
Yeah, it was.
I
Oh, that
freaking
trailer.
I need a
Some passive pausing for effect there. Say something, Pat. It's
See,
an
I
audio.
a Switch now because like I love Tekken.
I thought you
Tekken
had a
is-
Switch already.
No, I'm not that rich, Paddy.
You've got a
Um,
PS5.
Yeah. What do you, why do you think I don't have a Switch, man?
That console that's been
Yeah.
out for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's
Like,
cheaper.
like a peasant.
in all honesty, like when I was going out to get a PS5, it was like, should I get a Switch? And this was my internal dilemma.
The
for, like,
dialogue.
months when I was going. Like I had it for like in my head 2 months. I'll get a Switch because then I could buy a few games. You know, I still have a few €100 left over. But then I was like, if I don't get the PS5, I won't get Ratchet and Clank when it comes out. I
Good
won't
thinking,
get
Pat. Good
all
thinking.
these games that come out. And I was like, I'm gonna have to get PS5 because Ratchet and Clank, obviously. I can get the
Obviously.
Switch later on. But now I really want a Switch because Kazuya, which Tekken also a game I've grown up with, a game I
Um,
freaking adore and love.
And my
Um,
main.
Yeah, and like his movesets in this, from what we've shown, looks so freaking incredible. Like a 10-hit combo, man. That's what I want to be doing in Smash Bros.
Yeah. Also, it also had my favorite thing about Tekken: people being thrown into volcanoes. That is
Yeah, he
always my
went on a
favorite thing about
murder
Tekken.
spree, so he did.
Isn't it mad
For
that
Kirby.
it doesn't even take games these days? It just takes a character going into a game to sell consoles.
like,
it used to be full
it-
games like Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Smash
Well, here, listen,
Ultimate
yeah, well, I
has
also
really lived
want,
up to the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, going on for a long, long time.
But it just has the most unbelievably ridiculous roster any game has ever had.
Yeah.
Like it really has.
Again, as you were saying, that was the
Um,
selling point. This is the ultimate smash. Everybody's
Yeah.
in, baby.
And
Mm.
Sakurai puts like insane amount of work to these characters.
Yeah.
Like for Steve from Minecraft to go and he had to redesign the entire way the game worked.
No way.
But
yeah,
like
he had to.
the game is being developed with help from Namco Bandai, which prestigious fighting game degree. So
Yeah.
like, no wonder it's so good. Like I hear a lot of people saying that Ultimate is one of the best out of all of them. Like apart from Melee.
Oh, it is.
Like loads of people always go back to Melee because of the, I'm assuming, the gameplay. But Ultimate
don't like
seems to
change.
be
They don't like change. That's always my
Ultimate
opinion.
Melee is great,
seems
though.
to be the big one, because like, in all honesty, like Melee is still stuck around, but like Brawl and the one before Ultimate that was on the 3DS
Wii U.
and all that, yeah,
Mm.
those two sort of died. Like I haven't heard anything about them.
Well,
like-
Smash for Wii U when it came out was actually pretty huge for
Mm.
the Wii U, but that's because that's the Wii U.
So
But-
Like,
seven
you could play
copies
that on the
instead of three.
3DS as well, man.
yeah, it's good on the 3DS. I've actually
Yeah.
played that.
It really was. Like I heard
Brawl-
loads of people praise it.
Brawl died when it started because they introduced a random tripping mechanic, and no pro esports player
Exactly.
was ever going to beat that.
That's why
random
Melee
tripping
is
mechanic.
Melee. Like what happened with Melee was that they got like these guys. It was never supposed to be a competitive sport,
No.
and these guys got so good at it that they became the best at the world, and they made it into a competitive fighting game. And it's just that's why I love what Melee at Evo was one of my favorite things to watch. And they got rid of it a few years ago. And I was like, but it was actually like Hungerbox and freaking Mango and the other lad, the Swedish guy. He's freaking dynamite at it. But there's a documentary about him on YouTube from back in the day. It's
I
fantastic.
don't remember what he's called. I watched the documentary.
It's very good.
But yeah, what Sakurai was never happy about that as well. He never
He never
originally
wanted it to be, yeah.
he did not want it to be a competitive fighting game. That's why the random tripping mechanic was put into Brawl.
That's such a
And-
like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, why would
It's
you
for the
do that?
kids. It's
Exactly.
for the family.
Why would you do
Yeah.
that?
He has acquiesced. Like now Smash gets balance patches. That
Yeah.
would have been unheard of for the Sakurai of 10 years
He
ago.
saw it as like a Super Mario Party, like a family kind of kids
Yeah.
game. And these guys came in and were like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe it!" Like commentators and making an actual like fighting
Frames.
game esport, yeah, like actual frame, like freaking cancels and all this stuff. They were finding out stuff that you could do in the game that the developers were like, "We didn't even intend this was a thing."
Yeah, like Melee has competitive strategies that involve glitches and things like that.
Yeah.
Like wave dashing. Wave dash is a glitch.
It has
Yeah.
a big another game, Cult Following. That's it's never going to change. People love them games.
Smash will always be huge, I think.
Another game that has
And like
sorry,
the
go on.
work they've done for Ultimate's insane.
Yeah, I know
Like,
they're
genuinely every new character comes with like stages and music from the games they come from and things like that. It's so much work. goes
I
into it.
believe that a lot of these people that develop like on these type of games that they have a job for life with these kind of games. You think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sakurai could do this forever, but I also think he's a tired man and we should let him rest.
So am I.
Rest.
Battlefield 2042 looks decent. And he was watching
Sure.
a trailer for it.
Like
Yeah,
I see.
oh, yeah.
I've been excited. It's the most I've liked the look of Battlefield since Bad Company 2.
It's kind of like how many times can you keep regurgitating these games, but we're gonna get again. You're gonna keep buying them. Do you know kind of way?
I mean, they're putting 100% focus onto the old school sort of multiplayer game factor.
Yeah.
They're cutting out the campaign. There's no battle royale mode. It's just
They're just going back to their old style.
and
Big,
again,
lot of players on a map.
Battlefield was never it
Half a
always had-
mag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
it was 124. They said
128.
128. I can't count apparently.
You don't have to count when someone tells you.
My motto.
It's always a factor of 2.
Is it?
Well, 124 and 128 weren't they?
No, well, I mean, like,
sorry.
it's always a. Well, what's the word?
They were
Oh, I
doing.
get
They were
you.
kind of doing battle royales before
No, I think
battle
you're
royales
right.
were a thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I get. I know.
Yeah. Computer talk, computer numbers.
Computer numbers. Yeah. I suppose the biggest one is probably The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Everyone absolutely in their shit for this game.
It looks, yeah,
Yeah, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
buy it. Gonna sell more
Yeah.
consoles.
it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Probably
huge.
going to.
Did you
it's
see that
probably
hair
gonna be the
physics?
Switch. Did you see they're going through wall stuff?
Go
Yeah,
through
that
what?
was cool. Go through
That
the floor.
looks seriously cool. Like it's kind of mad. I look at that Breath of the Wild 2 trailer and I'm like, games are kind of catching up to Breath of the Wild now. Like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was such a big leap when it.
Oh,
like,
it was.
I've noticed now that there's so many games with like gliders and freeform climbing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you see the trailer for 2 and there's like all these new mechanics. I'm like, I wonder, is this going to take off in are these mechanics going to take off in the same way? It's going to be interesting to see in the future.
I mean, it's just everything. Like people will forget stuff like what Apex did for like Fortnite and stuff. Because if I remember, like Apex was the first one to bring in, you could revive your character. You could revive people at
They
stations.
stole
and
that
people
so
were like, "That's
fast.
amazing," and Fortnite was like, "Yep, that is amazing."
I think 3 weeks they had that in.
Yeah.
It was so quick.
It just happens with any good idea, though. It's always
Yeah,
there's always
exactly.
expansions on it, isn't it? There always,
Yeah.
if I did this game,
But-
I'd do it like this, and I'd do this, and this would make it better. And it
The team
causes
that make
competition.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
The team that makes Fortnite
Epic.
seem to be absolutely huge and able to implement something very, very fast.
Oh yeah. They kind
Rick
of
and-
they don't put as much effort into that game anymore as they used to.
No, they just freaking buy freaking Superman and Rick from Rick and Morty, and now they're skins, and then people go, "Oh my god!"
That's their basic premise. Is like everyone loves a crossover, so
Yeah.
I'll put them in, and it works well. Any other games you just want to talk about?
Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Yes, what Aiden said.
Yeah.
This game is this is what Persona was a spin-off from the Shin Megami Tensei games.
Shin Megami Tensei.
We need a translator.
Megami Tensei. So you can see.
SMT.
Yeah. I actually have a few of them there, but yeah, this looks so good, and it just reminds me of Persona 5. A lot of it. Just
You need a
looking at it, and
Switch.
I'm like, I need a Switch. Exactly.
a
That's
Switch.
exactly what was going through my head. I was like, man, this game looks good.
Why did I get the PS5?
play
Ratchet and Clank, it's over now. What are we gonna do?
But man, I was really hoping that Nintendo would reveal a Switch Pro, and then the normal Switch would come down in price. But that didn't happen,
No.
and
I still
Nintendo
think-
Switch is just going to be expensive.
I still think Bloomberg is reporting that the new Switches will come out in the fall.
Like, I think they would have revealed it.
That's what I
Like,
thought, but
yeah.
like it's-
Nintendo might do their own thing and have it.
they're so sure. It's such a weird thing.
I'd be surprised.
It
Like it looks like to me, it'd be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's when you want to look. It's coming out. That's usually a good indicator.
Yeah,
Something
that's
that
true.
that kind of
It
game
has
is
to
what
be
the-
out for that.
Yeah, that's when it kind of drops. That's usually you get with this, and that's a console seller. Do you know what I mean? That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
But according to like developers
not
who
till
have like, the
2022,
kits
so-
and stuff,
Yeah.
like the hardware for the new Switch is ready and out there.
Yeah, so basically what they're going to do is they're going to make just enough that no one can get one, and they're going to release it.
Yeah, of
and
course, it's
You're gonna,
Nintendo.
yeah, it's Nintendo, 100%. That'd be maybe no, it's 2022 for Breath of the Wild. So
The scalpers will buy them all up and sell them at 5 times the price on eBay.
see, they're
I
making
the
that
only-
illegal in UK. Nuts.
Yeah, saw that.
I don't think.
Am
Ireland
I the
can
only one
enforce it.
here who is a fan of Advanced Wars?
I
Because
saw 1 and
seeing those
2. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm so happy that they've remembered that Advanced Wars is a series that they own. Like, it's so unfortunate the way those games were forgotten because they're 2 of the best games that were ever released in the GBA.
That's
will
why I was
be
thinking it was
buying
on
that
for a
game.
second. I can remember that game, but it's definitely a Game Boy game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're incredible. They're some of my favorite
If I
strategy
turned it
games
on, I
ever.
probably know what it is. It's
Yeah.
very old.
But seeing them come out, like, also Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is an unbelievable name. It's almost terrible, but it's just great enough to not be
it's
terrible.
it's
Yeah.
almost terrible. There's another Legend
Yeah,
of Zelda game,
I-
Game and Watch.
Oh, the Game and Watch.
Yeah, that we Game and Watch. That's cool.
It's so Nintendo though, and again they're going to release like 100 of them and then play up the price.
Yeah.
Did
It had
their,
Link's Awakening on it, and I love Link's Awakening.
did their little box thing take off?
Which one?
Their cardboard thing that they released last year. What was it?
Oh,
There was
yeah.
Labo.
what was it? Some cardboard you put
Ah,
together.
they sold enough of them.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
With a bit of money.
I'm
Small
actually
kids
waiting.
cardboard.
I'm waiting to see like a Labo set for like a tenner, so I can buy them and build all the stuff.
I forgot that. That was
Yeah,
like
that's
a
how well I
repressed
read.
memory.
Oh, it's not for me, but I like putting things together and building things. Just to have an evening of building stuff. I'll
Bit of an
pay
engineer.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love. I'd say I build Lego, I build Gundams. I like
Avatar's
building
having its own getting its own game as well.
Yeah, but it's by Ubisoft, so it's just going to be a big open world game that you lazily trail around and do random stuff. And while you might enjoy it to begin with, slowly
Pat
over
is a broken
time,
man.
your
He's a broken man.
soul will be drained.
I don't even
from
take their
your
emails anymore.
body.
There was a trailer for Far Cry 6 that looked real fun and goofy.
Yeah, no, I'm all for Far Cry 6. I'm
Yeah.
actually currently playing
Pat.
I'm playing Far Cry New Dawn at the moment, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh man, if I was looking forward to a Far Cry game, the last thing I would be doing is playing a Far Cry game.
Oh, good.
I'd be like,
I don't
oh,
mind.
I need one of them every 2 to 3 years.
Oh God, no! I played the one that comes out every year or whatever. I played them all. I love them, but they don't get. They're, as you said, they're really really fun.
Four
I
was
like
my
running
last one.
around in an open world, and I like shooting people in the face, and driving around in like a
Sounds
little
like
buggy
Tarkov.
or exactly driving around a little buggy, petting a dog, and fighting a freaking anaconda in the freaking jungle. It's great.
Setting what do you call it, Komodo dragons on people is one of the most fun things
Yeah.
in the world. A new WarioWare game. Is anybody excited for? Anyone
I
ever
don't know.
played
I've
it?
seen it. Someone mentioned it to me. And I
It
don't
I don't
looks
play any-
so weird.
I thought
So-
it was.
so
I watched the direct.
weird.
Yeah.
WarioWare games are great. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone ever plays them, but they're great.
know.
The one for the Wii is a genuinely great time.
That's me now.
Just actually
Mario
on
Kart, let's give it-
Ubisoft's
Yeah.
presentation, there was one game that stood out to me, and I'm not sure why it stood out to me, but it looks like great crack, and that's Republic Riders or Riders Republic.
Mm.
And there's like you do cycling on the bike down the hill.
I've seen
and
it, I've seen
I'm
it.
not sure. It looks
I actually seen an advertisement for today.
good
and
crack.
Doing it's
Yeah,
like
it does look
Matt
good.
Hoffman's BMX reminded me of.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything, all the other extreme sports and that, you get them away. I just want to do the cycling stuff. It looks fun, and that's all I want in a game.
Yeah.
I also, I'm probably going to pay for Rocksmith for a while. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Rocksmith was a really good thing, and if it's like the way it's like a full ever growing list of songs, I'm probably going to pick up the guitar for a while and play some Rocksmith.
Why not?
Nice.
Diablo 2 Resurrected.
I'll be
Yeah.
getting that.
Cool.
And yeah, I hope. Yeah, I'll probably get that on console. It's one of those weird things where when they release Diablo 3 on console, it probably plays better on console than it ever did on PC.
Probably. It's been a while though,
Especially,
hasn't it?
especially when Diablo 3 came out first on PC. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
the game was literally unplayable because of all the errors.
There's a new Mario Party coming that has like the best of maps of the first couple of Mario parties
Yeah, I saw
with
that.
online matchmaking.
Nice. That's a good.
So
That's a good
you
feature.
text people online.
We all love
Actually-
doing that.
Weird.
Exactly. The other game, the expansion, I think, to the game I always actually thought I'd really like, but I never got, was that Mario and Rabbids game because it was Super Mario mixed with XCOM, and
It's
XCOM
not-
is
yeah.
one of my favorite games. Is it not like it though?
It's
I
not an
never actually bought it.
expansion. It's
It's a
not
new
an
one, is it?
It's a brand new.
brand
It's a
new
sequel
game.
to the previous one. Yeah.
Oh, cool. But like, I got even the first one. I was like, I remember when that was announced, and I had the Switch. I was like, I'm gonna pick that
think you-
up because
I
it's
think
like
you'd probably
XCOM.
like it.
I love XCOM. XCOM is like
Yeah.
my favorite, like, one of my favorite strategy games ever made. XCOM 2. It was probably one of my favorite strategy games ever made.
It's not as nowhere near as hard as an XCOM, but it's a really good game.
Just I'd be worried if it was as hard as an XCOM game. Like
Yeah.
oh yeah, Super Mario and Rabbids. Let's make a game really hardcore.
Mario! He's dead forever. Mario's dead. That would be, if it was like an XCOM game, that would be an XCOM game.
It's about time.
Uh,
I wish you could.
Another one game I
Well
would like.
timed.
One game I want to mention, probably nobody else cares, but Ayuden Chronicles is coming out, and that's from the guys that
That's
made
the
the
505
Suikoden
games.
Yes,
Rabbit
but
and
it's
Bear.
also the guys that made
Yeah.
Suikoden. are making that, and that
Which of the
should be amazing.
they also did Nino Cooney. They did
Yeah.
John of Arc. Yeah, they did loads of great games.
Yeah,
I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
This was kickstarted by the guy who was like the guy behind Suikoden. Suikoden 2, one of the best RPGs ever made.
Nice.
And this has mad pedigree behind
So
it.
there's 2 of them coming out. Is there 3 of them?
What?
I'm looking at something else. I'm looking for the same. There's one's coming out in 2022, and then there's one coming out in 2023.
Yes, there's 2 games coming out.
100 Heroes is after that one.
Yeah.
Rising and then 100 Heroes.
Yeah.
There's another game called 12 Minutes here. Hope it's longer than that.
Oh yeah,
No, that was
12
cool.
minutes.
That's
That has
genuinely really
Willem
cool.
Dafoe.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah,
It's basically
Wasn't expecting that.
they have voice cast.
Paddy, it's like a mystery kind of a thing. You're looking top down at a room, and you're in a constant time loop of 12 minutes. And I think for what it looks like you might get murdered and arrested and or both, and you have to figure out what happened and why, and you have to keep playing the 12 minutes over and
Murder
over again.
mystery.
And kind of you're getting like it didn't give away too much, but it looks like you're either getting arrested or murdered or both. And obviously the first time you play it, it probably goes very wrong. But you're in a time loop like Groundhog Day, and you have to play this 12 minutes over and over again to try and get yourself.
Wouldn't
out
it
of
suck
the
if you
situation.
if you figured out in like one go?
Yeah, your first playthrough.
Oh man, that
Um,
game
I just did that. I never run off the door. Perfect.
The voice cast is James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, nice.
ridiculous what talent they have. Like, I want that game just simply for Willem Dafoe because
I want Willem Dafoe
Dafoe.
to be either Spider-Man Willem Dafoe or I would take Lighthouse Willem Dafoe. I would take Lighthouse Willem Dafoe.
I hope they didn't spend all their
Lighthouse.
money on the old voice cast, and now they've nothing left for the game.
The game does look very interesting.
Oh, it's very
also, 'cause
basic as well, though.
Was
like,
it gameplay? Or...
It's an indie
Yeah.
game, so it is.
Oh, yeah,
But
well, I
like,
guess
it looks
that's- yeah.
so interesting.
Oh, no, they-
Annapurna aren't really an indie developer anymore.
Well, it's an indie game. for
indie
sure.
style game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Flight Simulator is
'cause
coming to the Xbox.
they made Outer Wilds last year, and that's kind of similar as well.
That's actually coming to the Xbox next month.
Yeah, it
It's
got a
July.
expansion or sequel, didn't it?
Outer Wilds?
Or am I
Oh,
thinking? Yeah,
Outer Worlds is getting
Outer
a sequel.
Worlds.
Oh yeah, but they
There's
just
2
took,
games.
They just took the piss out of game reveals for their game reveal.
It was a great game reveal.
Yeah, we don't have a game, and our character is in the shadow because we haven't even finished what he looks like yet.
Yeah,
The only
that
thing
much
we have
revealed.
is a title, The Outer Worlds 2. This is literally all we have.
That is the like the sense of humor of that game is pretty perfect.
Yeah, it was a good game. Again, I was a little disappointed with some aspects of it because I'm a mad Fallout New Vegas fan. So my expectations for that studio is very, very high. But it was still a very good game.
I think that's all the games, is it? That everyone want to
So
talk
that
about?
was all of them, yeah.
There's
Pretty much
loads
all,
more probably to talk about, but like I
Yeah.
don't think we have
We'll be
anything
here all.
else.
We'll be here all year with all the
Yeah.
games.
But I think the big question: who won E3 this year?
The fans.
I don't even think that's true. I don't even think that's true.
The fans. I think
Geoff
Xbox-
I
Keighley.
mean, Geoff Keighley did
Geoff
pretty
Keighley.
well. Yeah, he did. He's my pick as well.
Yeah,
'cause he
I'd
said, he
say
said
he
the
won.
word he said ladies and gentlemen, Elden Ring. And it's like, perfect. He's a king to me now.
What do you think, Pat?
Microsoft really though.
I think Nintendo won it. But I think Nintendo won it by freaking miles. Yeah, like Shin Megami Tensei 5, Kazuya coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Literally, I don't think anything could have topped that. In all honesty, like, oh my god, this is so cool. He's coming to it. And then you have like Breath of the Wild 2, and you have Mario Party, and all those other games. So who cares about them? Put them back on the shelf. Just give
Tony
me
Hawk's
Kazuya.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
For the Switch.
No, I'm gonna put
such
that
a
game.
Switch game.
Happy that it's there. Actually, I would argue that probably it would be a good Switch game because if anyone's ever played the GBA port of Tony Hawk's 2, it was amazing.
I think I have played it.
So
Sure,
there
this-
is pedigree for skateboarding games on handheld consoles.
Would it not actually work even better in Switch? Because like it's what like you're usually 2 to 3 minutes timed on the maps
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
yeah
great
Tony
traveling
Hawk's
game.
Pro Skater. So like
you could tilt the
it's
thing on the ground.
perfect for a Switch.
You could tilt the thing
It's
on the
just not
ground.
something I think of when I think of a Switch. That's all I
It's
kind of
like
meant.
you're
lads.
actually grinding.
Yeah.
It's not your kind of Legend of Zelda Mario kind of game. You get me?
But
You
it's,
could
it
put
was
Mario into it.
I'd like that.
Well done.
Mario
You know what?
skateboarding.
Do you know what is nice about it? though?
Mario skateboarding.
Do you know what's
There you
nice
go.
about
That's
it?
Nintendo.
I'll get to play a Tony Hawk's game with a GameCube controller again.
Nice, good idea. I played a Tony Hawk's game on a Nintendo on a GameCube before. Which one was on it? Underground or something, wasn't it?
I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on my GameCube.
I can't remember which one I had. I know I played Nintendo
Played a
games.
lot of
I
it.
definitely played it on them. I
Thank
think
God I've never played one on an N64 controller because that thing is horrible. And
The worst.
I get thank you, because some people have way too much nostalgia for that controller.
Worst
It's
controller.
probably the worst controller ever made.
Maybe ever. The worst first party controller ever made.
I don't think I can agree. But I don't. Like nostalgia is just like you did like that controller. I know you liked that. Controller. I know you liked it.
Do you like the whole left side of your controller? It's rendered useless. How are you supposed to use the left hand side of your controller? I'll just put my other hand over here, shall I?
Do you ever
It's
see
not
that
even
that's
that.
like this? And
What? That's not my problem with it.
was it?
My problem with it is how bad that analog stick is.
Yeah. It's how bad the game's controlled. It's a problem.
Yeah.
I would love to mod it to put like a modern analog stick into it.
It did a pretty. Yeah, it'd have to be a big mod, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's not one you see very often.
Yeah, it'd be a difficult mod now. Because it's so skinny, isn't it? It's so small
Yeah.
compared to the new ones.
I know myself and Aiden highly differ on probably my second most hated controller.
It's probably an Xbox.
No, it's the Wii U. We've had this
Oh,
conversation before.
I understand people that don't like it, but I find it pretty comfortable.
I hate it. I'm trying to play Bayonetta on that thing.
I don't want to.
They're so big, I'm falling over.
I think we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting late. I have to be up early. I don't know why, but I do. Pat, where are you now? Where are you not here?
Where are you now?
Where are you now when we're not here?
Who are you people? Wait, when did I
I
get
know, it's
here?
my feet.
These are my hands. Where can you find me? You can find me over on Twitter at PackGunMad and an R at the end of that PackGunMad, a capital R at that. Or you can find me around the Republic of Players and Discord and all that stuff. You can find me over on YouTube where I do comic dubs, just Pat Curley. So if you want to go check me there, you can.
Check him out.
Check him out.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm playing a lot of Destiny these days. If anyone wants Sherped through all the glass on Xbox, give me a shout.
What's your name?
Just find me on Twitter.
First, look for there first.
It's the same. I'm the same on Xbox.
All right. J-Dog.
You can find me on Facebook. Well, for content, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch as 204 Gaming. That's COOOLD 4 Gaming, all one word. And for my Instagram, my socials, it's Instagram, Facebook, and the other one, Twitter.
TikTok as well.
It's all the same. And TikTok, yeah, sorry, that's new.
Forgot about
Keep
TikTok.
forgetting now.
He's
TikTok.
He's a TikTok starter.
Check out my TikTok because I am actually I like TikTok, dude, and I'm actually like posting on it pretty much every day. It's fun. It's freaking puts Twitter to shame.
You're the only one I followed so far, John. Only one I followed. So you're my first and my last.
Nice, Paddy.
You can catch me here. We have another podcast on a Wednesday night straight after Loki. We're doing episode 3 next week. If you're really enjoying that podcast as well,
You should be. Loki's fantastic.
yeah, should be. Loki's
Really
fantastic.
good.
I haven't watched it. Do watch it. And you can find me anywhere see the public players, anywhere see buy and play. And we'll chat to you next week. Roland's not here, so he's on Alpha Fox TV on Twitch. You can catch him doing races every Wednesday night. I think he's on the 3rd week of a championship. Can't remember the name of the championship, but he's catch him there, or Alpha Fox TV at the weekend maybe. Hopefully he'll be back on Tarkov soon. Hopefully he'll be back here next week. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.